Yeah, the lineup of bosses in the Final Fantasy series is robust and varied. But what about them? You know, the weird ones. Hey guys, it's One Track Mind, and welcome to 10 of Final Fantasy's goofiest bosses. And there are some goofy ones, so prepare yourself for a cavalcade of confusion, a horn of plenty of, huh? A band of bizarre bosses that we all love to look at in total astonishment and go, so what the hell is this exactly? Okay, are you ready? Then let's get started. Now's a good time to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and let me know if you can think of any goofy boss encounters from the Final Fantasy franchise. Gogo from Final Fantasy V. Gogo looks like a floating garden gnome who decided to dress like Spike Lee. This bearded clown looking thing is definitely a testimony to how closely they stuck to Amano's art in these days because, wow, robes upon hats upon epaulets, a green tongue. Gogo tells the party he will mimic them, and if the player takes no action at all, after a while, he praises them for mimicking him, and you win. That's it. But if you attack the famed mimic, he becomes one of the toughest bosses in the game. He will counter all physical attacks, dealing 9,999 damage. He'll counter all magic with deadly high-powered spells, and if you get Gogo down to a certain amount of HP, he enrages triple casting Meteor, which will likely wipe out your entire party. If you do decide to fight, you better be sure, because once angered, it is no longer possible to defeat him by taking no action. What a weird guy, but still pretty interesting. Ultros from Final Fantasy VI. You fight Ultros 4 times in Final Fantasy VI. He's your, quote, comic relief boss for this game. The first time you encounter him, it makes some kind of sense. You're riding down the river on a raft with Bannon, there's an octopus, fine. But he looks really ridiculous, and unlike other bosses, he starts making wisecracks and remarks to your party. He'll even say ouch if you cast fire on him. Then you encounter him in an opera house. He overhears your daring plan to lure out Setzer and hatches a scheme of his own, dropping a 2-ton weight on the stage to gum up the works. Then he's in a cave after you first meet Realm. She charms him into asking her to draw his portrait. When he sees this frankly hideous countenance, he immediately flees in terror. The final fight with Ultros is in the sky, where he will summon another odd enemy, the Chupon, who can sneeze party members in your group entirely out of the battle. Ultros is purple, weird-looking, recurring, and he's quite a trickster. But one thing is for sure, campy charm aside, this is one hell of a goofy boss, deserving of a spot on this list. Heavy Tank from Final Fantasy VII. It's pretty well known that Final Fantasy VII is the undisputed heavyweight champion of goofy-ass bosses and enemies. And this is absolutely not the last entry on this list that will come from that game. Heavy Tank is a Triceratops with tank treads. Yep. I mean, did someone love dinosaurs and G.I. Joes as a kid? Jurassic Park fan? What insanity could have been swirling around inside the mind of the person who designed this? It's not even remotely related to anything going on around it, or really in the entirety of the world of Final Fantasy VII. There aren't any other dinosaurs to my knowledge, and certainly no other dinosaurs that are freakishly merged into cybernetic military vehicles. It looks very silly, and it's hard to take it seriously. But that's why we love it. and there was no way I was going to do this video without including this boss. And you knew that. Norg from Final Fantasy VIII. Okay, so Norg is not supposed to be silly or over the top. He's the big boss of Badlam Garden and the true mastermind pulling the strings behind all of the missions of Seed. But hey, take a look at this guy. The sad frog face, the huge noodle fingers, the way he speaks in all caps. What's going on? Norg drops some truth bombs on you when he's finally revealed, and I think it's pretty cool that there's a darker, more sinister plot going on around Badlam than you realize. But this, he's so weird and grabby. He doesn't look dangerous. He doesn't do much but yell at you. And he looks like a parody of Jabba the Hutt who lives in a Dance Dance Revolution arcade cabinet. Also, what's Buju Roo Roo Roo? Nothing makes that sound. Nothing has and will ever make the sound Buju Roo Roo Roo. It's also extremely goofy that he tells you the mechanics of the fight in his all-caps weirdo delivery. As long as colors stay, I will attack Seed with magic. Hey, Norg, don't tell us that, yeah? 'Cause then we'll defeat you. Don't you want to win? Norg stands out and is really memorable, actually, but not for the reasons that I think the developers wanted him to be. Still, we love him for that. Thorne and Zorn from Final Fantasy IX. FF9 is just a world of goofballs. Nothing and no one looks cool in that game. And that's the point? So it was real hard to choose any one encounter when there's just so much there, you know? But we're gonna go with Thorne and Zorn because not only are they goofy, but they're annoying and evil. And I really can't stand these two. They look stupid and they haunt you constantly for a good chunk of the game. Their designs are almost more lazy than goofy. Two evil little pricks with rhyming names, dressed like jesters with clown makeup and little pointy noses. The way they talk, I mean, stop it. And they're also the overseers of the manufacture of black mages in Dali. So as far as Thorne and Zorn, we don't love them. No. But they sure are goofy, and that's why they're here. Let's move on. The Magus Sisters from Final Fantasy X. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, Sandy is kind of badass with her praying mantis cosplay and her cigarette. But Cindy and Mindy, who dressed you? Having the Magus Sisters return from Final Fantasy IV is a nice callback. An honorable mention to that trio because they're pretty goofy as well. But seeing this iteration of them in their bug outfits is like, you know when there's that one kid on Halloween you feel bad for because you know their mom made them wear that costume? They look ridiculous. The thing that makes them great though is despite this, they're a very formidable Aeon to have. It's like having 3 summons at once. They're actually awesome and adorable. The way they pop out of their little flowers ready to have a go at you. But look at these portraits. Look at Cindy. And Mindy looks like she's angry at the designers for making her into a bumblebee. You've really got to love these 3, especially if you're a longtime fan of the series. But their silly designs stand out, especially among the mostly serious and badass enemy designs in Final Fantasy X. So their spot is well earned on this list. Mandragora Prince from Final Fantasy XII. Gazed I then into those crimson pupils, and witnessed I there its abiding madness. If the blood spilled on the ground where it grew was pure, then it is said it will become a Mandragora Prince with fell appearance and hopeful heart. Pretty chilling stuff, right? Well, they're talking about this big-headed purple onion-looking thing with a little sprout popping out of the top of its head. This murderous, insane beast is super cute. How am I supposed to shudder in fear when I just want to give it a hug? The Mandragora can also become a friggin' powerhouse, and is one of the only enemies that can reach level 99 while in combat with you. It constantly tries to escape, getting stronger as the fight goes on. This is so weird, and it looks so weird. It's another very memorable enemy though, but probably not for the reasons you would think. Orphan from Final Fantasy XIII. You know, I never realized how few bosses there are in Final Fantasy XIII, and how similar a lot of them are. Big hulking tanks walking on all fours, there's a lot of those. But have you ever seen Orphan? All forms of this boss look ridiculous. At first it's a mask being caressed by a good angel? And enshrouded by a bad devil? And then it's just an odd-looking face plastered in the center of a doily. Then it sprouts wings and it's got its arms out like, what? What do you want from me? This mysterious being fuels the Foul Sea Eden with the power necessary to maintain Cocoon's complex operational systems. And as such, its death would bring about Cocoon's certain destruction. Nevertheless, its death is what Bartandalus desires, for he seeks to offer the lives of the world's millions of inhabitants in sacrifice to call the vanished Maker back to this realm. This is what the game tells you. You understand that, right? I don't think anyone actually knows what the hell is going on in Final Fantasy XIII, but I will say this. For something that causes this much trouble for a bunch of jacked up superhuman powerhouses, it sure looks pretty dumb. I'm gonna stick Orphan on top of my Christmas tree and move on from Final Fantasy XIII before I turn into a fucking crystal. Hell House from Final Fantasy VII. Yep, it's Hell House. It's quite literally a house, and you fight it. Nothing weird about that. I mean, I fight my place of shelter all the time, especially when it pipes up, grows arms, and starts firing long-range missiles at me. It's kind of hard to roast Hell House because it's become such a fan favorite by this point. People love to be perplexed by it. And it fits right in with the rest of the oft-forgotten weird stuff in Final Fantasy VII. Let's just say it, Hell House is great. You love it, I love it. But I mean, we all agree that this is goofy, right? No one thinks this is seriously badass or even a good design. Right? There's not a Hell House iceberg I've yet to delve down, is there? Is Hell House actually controlling Genova? And also, who lives there? How's the housing market affecting this fight? Does it do more damage now? Do I need to call a realtor in order to defeat it by flipping it over? Jumbo Cactar from Final Fantasy VIII. Anything with Jumbo in the name has got to be goofy, but damn it, Jumbo Cactar has got to be the goofiest thing I've ever seen. It's not a totally new enemy because Cactars are a bit of a die-hard staple in the Final Fantasy franchise. But, oh man, look at the size of this guy. He's huge. How does he balance like that? And most importantly, check out the curly stash. That is stylish. The way he stomps on you is hilarious. His special move is to tip over and straight up fall on top of you, launching your party into the air. When you critically strike him, he spins around like a cartoon character. And best of all, this boss is no joke. He will seriously fuck your whole shit up if you're not ready for him. 10,000 Needles breaks the game's 9,999 damage barrier and will absolutely kill one of your characters. And that's awesome! Silly plus deadly is A-OK in my book. And that's our boy Jumbo Cactar, the king of goofy Final Fantasy bosses. So that's my list, but I'm sure there's many I've forgotten. What are some lovably goofy Final Fantasy boss encounters that you can think of? Or maybe you want to spread some love for one of your favorites that I did mention. Let's talk about it down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching this video. My name is One Track Mind. You can follow me on IG, Twitch, and Twitter at One Track Mind TV. Please click like and subscribe to the channel for more content, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye. And I think it's pretty cool that there's a darker, more sinister plot going on around Balam. What is it? How do you say it? I think it's Balam because lamb. Lambs go ba. Okay. Where was I?